All right, welcome to another interview with Beers and Fears here. We have Chainsaw Sally, Miss April. Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
How you doing out there? Surviving, I heard.
I am doing very well. My New England blood is loving the snow.
Awesome, so. Awesome. Well, I'm going to jump right in. Fan question, right off the bat. And first of all, thank you for taking out the time. I got some really great emails from people. They were really excited. You and your husband have really left a mark on the indie culture with Chainsaw Sally. And so for that, right off the bat, this fan says, thank you for doing that. Because there's not a lot of people who are willing to push the boundary, but also, to an extent, make it tasteful, if that makes sense, you know? So where did this whole concept, right? Yeah. Where did this whole concept, I know I've read things and I heard a little tidbit of interviews, but let's just touch on the basis real quick. Again, they want to know, how did this come about? Like, just the idea. Like, were you guys just one day going, oh, hell, let's just make a movie, you know? Where did this whole concept come from?
Oh, Chainsaw Sally, okay, I've told this story a few times, but I'm sure there's people who haven't heard it by now.
Yes.
We started out before we ever did movies. Chainsaw Sally existed before that. We used to do live theater. And we used to do this show, there were original plays or musicals that my husband and his partner, the composer James M. Taylor, or Jamie Taylor, not James Taylor, the folk singer, different guy. They wrote a lot of these musicals together, and the big one was called Silver Scream, which was this horror comedy musical that we actually performed last year, which we hadn't done in a long time. It takes people through all sorts of different horror movies, from Nosferatu all the way up to slasher films. And it's really fun and it's really great, but it is so hard to get horror fans who are horror movie fans into see a musical, because they hear musical and, like me, go, ah, gross!
Right.
So we wanted to find a way to market our shows, so we created this spokesperson, this character, Chainsaw Sally. Jimmy and I kind of worked up what she was together. Mm-hmm. And we made up a website, and I kind of represented our shows, and then it just kind of started growing. She got fans of her own. And we started adding interviews and reviews, and we really weren't sure what we wanted to do with this character. We're like, people love it. There's something about the name. It's catchy. Something's going to happen with it. So a little while later, we make a movie of Silver Scream, like a filmed version, and we had a great time. We're like, maybe we're going to try this for a while. So we decided to take a break from stage and go to film. Once Silver Scream was done, we were looking for the next project. And we're like, well, most people think there's already a Chainsaw Sally movie, so I guess we should make one.
Right.
So we did. So that was back, I guess it was 2003 that we started filming. It wrapped up in 2004. Got released in 2007 because in the indie world, you know, it's hard to get the name out there and get it going. But we finally got released. Luckily, before we had started the film, we had hooked up with Gunnar Hansen, who had heard of Chainsaw Sally, the character. Somebody told him about it, because one of her quirks was that she has a crush on Leatherface. So somebody pointed him at us, and he sent me an email one day. Fangirl moment.
Right.
And we kind of became friends, and we also had done, Jimmy had hooked up with Herschel Gordon Lewis, our wonderful godfather of gore, a little while before that, because he had worked with him to get him into some horror conventions. And so we asked them both to be in our film, and they agreed, which was fantastic. So we had them in the original Chainsaw Sally movie, which is great. And then it took off really well. Fans loved it. I'm glad they loved it so much. We just had fun doing it.
Right.
I mean, it was just a really simple, low-budget, best-we-could-do thing. But we had all this knowledge to bring to the... I think what helped us was that all the theater background that we had. We knew how to stage things. I mean, it was still... You can still tell there's a learning curve. That's our first regular film. So the pacing's a little different than a regular movie, because Jimmy wasn't used to writing for a film yet. And he learned that as we went along. So I think it's grown so fast. Fans just latch onto the character. I think they really get a kick out of somebody who's killing people who just get on her nerves.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of fun. So,
yeah.
I mean, yes, she's a slasher, but for some reason she ends up somehow being the hero. What does that say about us? I don't know.
Well, I think you're accomplishing on film what we all have dreamt up through high school, junior high, and even sometimes at our current jobs. So,
yeah, it's
kudos
like a funny
to that.
version of Hannibal. I'm killing rude people.
Yeah,
just get
yeah.
on the nerves.
Going forward now, and I've seen on your website, and I know you touched on it a little bit, the cartoon. What's going on with that?
Oh my God.
We're really
I'm so excited.
I saw the picture of it, and I was so giddy, like kid in a candy shop, man. What's going on with that right now?
That is an idea that is, I mean, it has caught fire. I think, well, we had talked with our producer and manager and Bloody Bombshell that they were talking about maybe making an animated version of Chainsaw Sally. And we were kind of like, well, yeah, maybe that'll happen, but we were working on other movies we were focusing on. Somehow, somebody heard about it and got very interested. And now this is like the big project we're pushing, is to do an animated series. We've hooked up with, oh, hold on, I got his name written down. Like, I couldn't remember his name. I knew it was Mike. Who's done a lot of work for Warner and Disney. He was an animator for was it El Super Bisto?
Rob Zombie, yeah.
Thing. So I know he's good. You know, he's going to work as our animator or our animation director. They've been writing the series out. It's going to start out. We're probably going to be doing like little mini episodes, like 1 minute, 2 minute long things to introduce it. And then there's going to be a big special, and then we will have a series. It'll be hopefully like a half-hour cartoon.
Gotcha.
And it's horror comedy again, but because it can be goofy because it's a cartoon, it's probably more a comedy than we've done before.
Gotcha.
But the beautiful thing is that we're writing this. We've had a lot of writing sessions where we bring everybody in. Jimmy does the primary writing, and he's got partners that work with him. But we'll have these big table discussions to get the ideas organized. And it is so fun to brainstorm because we realize there's no gravity to worry about. There's no budget limitations. You can do anything because it's a cartoon.
Right.
So we've got this. I mean, we've got one that's going to take place in a carnival. I've always wanted to do a Chainsaw Sally episode in a carnival. I'm so excited. And there's going to be one where the one I really am looking forward to is going to take place in a zoo.
Okay.
And I'll tell you a little bit about it because it'll give you an idea of what the show is going to be like.
Okay.
There's going to be a nuclear waste thing because in Porterville, everything's going to take place in Porterville, of course. Mm-hmm. Of course, there's a nuclear waste facility because you need one, and of course, there's a zoo.
Of course.
And somehow, accidentally, the nuclear waste gets into the animals' water at the zoo, and some of the animals get all irradiated and weird and bite some people. And the people start getting characteristics of the animals. Wow. And and some of it's going to be like some scary things, lions, tigers, whatever. But then there's going to be things like, I think we've got one who's going to get bit by an ostrich.
Nice.
His characteristic is that he'll stick his head in the sand when everybody else is going crazy.
Oh, that's great.
And of course, because it's a cartoon and we're not really going to care too much about, who deserves what, Sally's going to have to kill people.
Definitely.
To keep Porterville safe. And Ruby, her little brother Ruby, and her pet, whatever she is, Busy Bee, will be there trying to fight the creatures with her. Mm-hmm. The title of the whole thing is going to be called Enter the Komodo Dragon.
Oh, nice.
Because there's a Komodo Dragon one, and that's the big bad. And Ruby, the goofy little brother, he gets the name mixed up and calls it a Komodo Dragon.
Gotcha.
Because he's smelly.
Right. That's amazing.
I'm realizing as I'm talking about it, I don't want to tell all the good stuff because I want it to be a surprise.
Definitely.
Oh my God, it's hilarious.
That's awesome. Now, have you been able to ever in the past or even on this currently, have you done any voiceover work yet on this, or
Not yet.
Okay.
No, we're going to. The first thing we're going to do are the mini episodes.
Gotcha.
So that'll be the first. Our first venture is to get the voiceover work done for that and the storyboarding done, which I will probably be helping Jimmy out with that because we both draw, and it's a lot of work.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. We'll
get the storyboarding done. We'll get the voices done. And then send it off to our animators, and they send it back to us. And we added the noise, and back and forth and back and forth.
So we still have a little ways until we are able to see this. Then, okay.
We got a little ways, but they are. I mean, they're really wanting to move fast, so it could happen as soon as at least the mini episodes could be popping up as soon as the summer.
Wow.
And I can't say where yet because nothing has been signed yet, and I can't say the big names that are going to help us out yet because nothing has been signed yet.
Okay.
But it'll be available, and we will make all sorts of noise.
Fantastic! So. I can't wait. Yeah, I saw just that one little. There was one little photo of you, in cartoon form, and I was just like, "Oh man, this is going to be fantastic!" I can't. That's going to be my new Saturday morning cartoon once this is out. So, super excited. Any other projects you got going on? Tell us a little bit about, if you can, Darling Clementines. What's going on with that?
Yep. Well, that is still on for filming. We were going to be filming in November, but they moved production back to spring, so which is fine because it'll be warmer, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, definitely.
So the plot line of Darling Clementines is, well, I think we're going to keep it in Appalachia, which is originally it was written in Appalachia. Then when we were going to film in November, we were moving it to like a Mississippi thing, so that we could film down south. But I think we're going to keep it back in the mountains now. There is a mom and her 3 full adult daughters. The daughters are going to be myself, Debbie Rashawn, and Nicole Ray. And they've been living out, isolated from people out in the woods. And the mother is, I want to say she's a crazy Christian, but I do not want to insult Christians because she is completely nuts.
Gotcha.
So she's not like a good representation.
So she kind of leaning on the whole like Carrie mother then, right?
Even worse.
Even worse, okay.
Carrie mom times like 1,000.
Gotcha, okay.
She's crazy, and she has decided, she's got this thing in her head that men are just, this is the weird part about it that takes it away from the Bible, her men are just kind of animals.
Okay.
They are hardly even people. She has decided that it is time for her daughters, now that they're fully grown, to do their godly duty and procreate. So that they have to get pregnant. But of course they can't have like a husband or anything like that. So they have to go find some men. And they do. One of the men that will be playing, or one of the actors playing one of the men is going to be Vernon Wells.
Oh, nice.
From Mad Max.
Yeah.
Vernon Wells. He'll be the father and his son, and they will be captured and demeaned and tortured, and I mean, and it's not just, it's a really heavy, twisted, disturbed script. I think it is by far the most messed up thing Jimmy has ever written. But it's not like violent. It's not just violence for violence sake. It's more involved than that. Yeah, it is disturbing and all that, but I don't know. It's intense. It's a good intense movie. You get to watch a lot of emotional turmoil happening to these guys as they're being victimized by these women.
Gotcha.
And whether or not they can escape or what's going to happen to them. So it's going to be quite a ride. It's going to be an intense filming too.
So is it more leaning towards the kind of the grindhouse or exploitation type style, or? Well, it's hard to say until we get out there and start doing it. But yeah, I mean, that's natural. I think that's going to kind of happen naturally, just because even though we'll have a bigger budget than we're used to, it's still going to be low budget category. So it'll have a grindhouse feel no matter what, because that's just kind of our style and Jimmy's style. But I don't know. I would say, I guess, I would compare it to maybe Hills Have Eyes. Okay.
But that kind of just, there's this horrible situation going on, and it kind of freaks you out to watch it. Yet it's interesting, so we keep watching it.
Right.
Yeah. Kind of thing.
Going with one of the questions that I had, going back to original film, one of the things that I got emailed about it, I found it interesting too, because I actually own that film, but moving out here, personal, I'll edit this out. I left all my stuff when we moved in a storage unit out in Ohio. So there's my film sits in that storage unit. Trying to refine that was a hairy process that I was not able to do. I saw it on Amazon, but out of print. Now, is that something that's going to be redistributed later, or is there a way that people even get it through your website?
Actually, yes, it is. All of our stuff is about to be released under a new, I think I've got this right. I think it's Origin, who's going to be re-releasing all of our titles.
Okay.
Including the original Chainsaw Sally. The good thing about the original Chainsaw Sally, anybody else that's got it already, you might want to buy this one, because the one that is out, for some reason, the people who the distributors who took that one on, they flattened the audio into like mono.
Right.
And it's not. So, which I don't pay attention to that stuff enough to notice it, but Jimmy and Sean Art, who does a lot of he's our assistant director of photography, they notice all these little technical details that I don't pay attention to, and they're freaking out, oh my god, it's mono! So,
gotcha.
Yeah, much better. And I think they're going to remaster the cut. There's going to be deleted scenes added in, probably some extras tagged in there. I don't know what they're going to put on, but all sorts of new goodies. So
excellent.
I don't know when that's taking place, but pretty soon, I assume.
Okay. And are you guys going to be able to distribute the second season as well, or is that still? That
is supposed to be in that too. I think they're taking everything.
Okay, good.
I don't know if we've got season 1 back from Trauma yet of the Chainsaw Sally show, because right now they still have it. But
that was the next
question. So far,
question.
they're going to be doing the Chainsaw Sally movie and Good Sisters, and at least season 2.
Okay, fantastic. So if you could, let me know so we can make sure that people know that, because I have a lot of people. That was a huge bulk of those questions. They want your stuff. I mean, bottom line.
You'll hook them up.
Yes, that'd be awesome. Another fan question: somebody that you haven't worked with, who would you want to work with in the future, if there's anybody, indie or major?
Oh my God! Yeah, there's a few people that I know I've said that about, like, lots of times. Well, director-wise, Robert Rodriguez.
Definitely.
He's kind of like an indie hero.
Yes.
And I don't know. People who I think would be fun to work with would be like Seth Green. Looks like he's a hoot.
Yes.
To hang out with on set. I would love to work with Angela Bettis. She's a really good, intense actress. Well, I could probably name about 1,000. I'm just going to stick with those for now. That's perfect.
And as a Chainsaw Sally character, who's somebody that you haven't killed on film that you would wish you could get your hands on?
You mean like
it could
general, somebody that gets on my nerves kind of thing?
Yes. Anywhere from actor to politician, doesn't matter.
Oh, I don't want to get specific.
Yeah.
I don't like doing that.
Yes.
So I will say, like, let's see, what's something that really just drives me up the fucking wall? Let's see. Lately, everybody gets cut off in traffic. That's boring. I would say overuse of the cell phone in inappropriate situations.
Oh, very nice.
Like, well, I'm not a cashier, so I don't have it done to me, but I watch it happen, and it drives me crazy. People are in line, talking on their cell phone, ignoring the person they're supposed to be doing business with. That and people who will ignore real life in favor of filming it on their phone.
Oh, very nice. I agree with that.
Like missing their kid's entire chorus performance because they're doing this the whole time. To film it, you're never going to watch it.
No,
you're never going to watch it again. Just maybe put it aside and do this so you can look at your child.
Right.
Your child is going to see a phone when they look at the audience.
Yes, I agree with you 100% being a father, so I understand that one.
So I can make them eat their phone.
Yeah, there you go. Going forward as well, one of the things that I noticed, you guys have you've been married for a long time and have a great what I see from other interviews, just great repertoire together. Does the marriage at all, and I've seen this working with my wife on things and other people as well, does that just stop when you get on camera? I mean, how does that process work for you guys? Working so close knit together and then also filming and living life, how does that, coincide with each other?
Well, I would say at first, because we started dating doing those plays like Silver Scream and all that back then. Mm-hmm. And when we started dating, Jimmy was directing and I was one of the cast. Okay. And we made it, I guess we kind of made an unofficial agreement with each other that when we walked in to rehearsal, we were professional. We were friends. I mean, we would talk back and forth. We weren't going to ignore each other or act like we weren't dating. Mm-hmm. But there was no kissy, and there was no special treatment or any of that. And it actually took people about a month to know that we were dating, which is kind of funny. Yeah. But I think because we're used to doing that, we're not so standoffish from each other when we film anymore, mm-hmm. but we're not all over each other either. So it doesn't get in the way. I mean, it just doesn't become an issue at all. So we work very well as a team. We're best friends. So it's very handy. We kind of know what each other is thinking, so when somebody needs to ask one of us a question, that one's not available, they usually ask the other and get a pretty good idea. So, I mean, it's good teamwork. It works really well.
That's fantastic. One of the things that I also was wondering is, this is the Women of Horror Month, so to speak, and the reason why I want to do this interview is, one, not just being only a fan, Beers and Fears have gotten a lot of requests for Chainsaw Sally. A lot of people have emailed, especially knowing that this month was coming up. Do you realize, and how has it affected, or even like, wow, we're really making this stamp as a woman in horror that's not just a cliche, oh, look at me, and I run and I get killed. You are somewhat of the hero on your films, How does that, really, were you guys really understanding that you were going to make that mark in the indie horror when you created this, or did it just come naturally and go, oh man, look what we just happened,
Well, we had no clue that it was going to take off the way it has.
Right.
I absolutely had no idea that I was going to end up being tattooed on people's bodies.
Yeah.
Which is the best compliment you could ever get. I mean, it doesn't wash off. It's there. So, no, I think it's wonderful. I love it. I love that people are inspired by the character and by our films. I think a lot of, I've talked to a lot of indie filmmakers and writers and actresses and actors who seem to get inspired by what we're doing and get excited and understand that if you just focus and work your ass off, you can create something amazing out of nothing. Mm-hmm. You don't have to have a huge budget. It's nice to have a huge budget, but you can do a lot with a little if you're just really creative and really passionate about what you're doing. I love that people are so into it, and I hope that we keep inspiring people. We would not be where we are without fans, so love them all.
Well, you guys are doing some great work. From me to you, we really appreciate it, honestly, as a fan of the horror community itself and films in general. I'm super excited for what you guys are about to produce, especially when it comes to cartoons, because I'm a cartoon freak. So that's going to be great. Also, I'm going to kind of wrap it up here for you. Is there some word of advice that you could give to young women who want to get into this type of genre? Now, this genre in particular could really get into some hairy people, and they can definitely exploit people really quick. Do you have any word of advice for young actresses that want to break into the horror community?
Sure. I would say know what your personal boundaries are, and don't be afraid to lay them down. If you don't have any, then that's fine too.
Right.
Work hard and be nice. Do not be a diva, because I have known a few people who have thought that was an okay thing to do, to be a jerk on set because, oh, this is just some little crappy movie. Doesn't matter what level. Filmmakers talk, and production crews talk, And Actors Talk, we network. You know, we love each other. We're family, kind of, in a weird way. So if you burn a bridge somewhere, you know, I mean, unless you're being mistreated, in which case that's not being a diva. That's just, you can stand up for yourself.
Exactly.
But, but yeah, be aware of your own boundaries. Don't be afraid to say, no, I'm not comfortable doing something. You don't have to do something you don't want to do. But don't be a jerk and work hard.
Sounds good. Conventions. Are you going to be hitting those up really soon, or what's going on? You guys have any plans to be touring a little bit?
Right now we don't have any solid plans, so I think we are doing a Scares the Care convention this summer.
Oh,
but
fantastic.
I only just heard, like, in passing, Jimmy talking to somebody saying, I don't go, oh, we got one? Okay. We don't have any convention plans right now because we're so busy making stuff.
Right.
So once things come out, then we will definitely be hitting conventions a lot harder to promote.
That's awesome.
Right now, I don't like to do conventions unless I've got something new to talk about, because otherwise I'm seeing people, I'm like, yeah, this is the same stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I like to have things to show them.
Awesome. Well, that's really all I have for you today. Like I said, I tried to keep it short and sweet for you.
Thanks. Gotta watch my Walking Dead.
Yeah, exactly. Excited about that. I added this in at the end. Just tell everybody one more time, where can they go to be able to, one, kind of keep up with the Clementines, as well as the new distribution, or just in general, Chainsaw Sally? Some of the places they could go, social networks, websites, whatever that is.
Right. Well, ChainsawSally.com or ChainsawSallyShow.com. We have both of those. Are our websites, but probably the most up-to-date, easiest stuff to catch us on is on Facebook. Chainsaw Sally or April Monique Burrell are on Facebook. I've got a fan page also.
Okay.
Jimmy O. Burrell also has his page, and we're constantly on there updating. We're on Twitter as well, under the same names.
Fantastic. I'll put that all at the end for everybody. We really appreciate your time, April. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on.
All right. Enjoy your evening. Tell Jimmy we said hi.
I will.
Love your guys' work. Thank you again. Keep up the good work.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye.